protesters are fast-moving.
Unlike other big rallies,
Bit earlier at about 7 a.m. A group from the Coast Guard.
Welcome to #PHVote 2013.
Today on Rappler. 6 months after Typhoon Yolanda or Haiyan, officials admit there's still no final rehabilitation plan. A fire hits the Philippine Army's explosive storage unit, injuring at least 25. And Thailand Prime Minister Yingluck is ousted from office.
Hello, I'm Natasha Gutierrez sitting in for Maria Ressa. Welcome to Rappler, your social news network. 6 months since Super Typhoon Yolanda or Haiyan devastated the Visayas, officials admit the government still doesn't have a final rehabilitation plan. In a Senate hearing, Karen Jimeno of the Office of the Presidential Advisor for Rehabilitation and Recovery says the National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council, or NDRRMC, failed to submit a final post-disaster needs assessment report. The report is the basis of the final plan. She says the NDRRMC only submitted a draft report to President Benigno Aquino. Senator Chiz Escudero criticizes the lack of coordination.
I share the frustration perhaps of President Aquino sa mga narinig kong sagot kanina. Tila hindi sineshare na mga ahensyang ito ang sense of urgency ng Pangulo, ang sense of urgency ng Kongreso na naglagay kami ng napakalaking pondo para sa rehabilitasyon.
Escudero says Congress allocated 40 billion pesos for rehabilitation in the 2014 budget, but only over 3 billion pesos has been spent so far. In hard-hit Tacloban City, Tacloban Mayor Alfred Romualdez says the city lacks the land for temporary shelters and permanent houses. Romualdez says Tacloban needs between 30 to 70 more hectares of land. The man tasked to oversee the rehabilitation efforts says he's frustrated with colleagues whom he describes as incorrigibly uncooperative and slow. Rehabilitation Secretary Ping Lacson says cabinet officials who skip meetings and fail to submit their reports in time could derail recovery efforts 6 months since the world's most powerful typhoon devastated central Philippines. Since his appointment, Lacson has consistently said that his position has no legal weight and he has no power over the budget. This means he needs to rely on agency heads, his more powerful colleagues, to completely rebuild areas hit by the typhoon. A fire hits the Philippine Army's explosives facility Wednesday, injuring at least 25 people hit by flying bricks and broken glass. Officials say pressure on the explosives may have triggered the fire but are still investigating further. A series of weak explosions were heard, likely from stored bullets, but one strong explosion before 11 a.m. triggers a strong tremor that shocks surrounding homes and offices. Army spokesperson Noel De Toyato says the fire was declared out at noon, but the area remains restricted as another explosion is still possible. The Philippine National Police Maritime Group arrests 11 Chinese nationals fishing in Hasa-Hasa Shoal or Half Moon Shoal off the coast of Palawan. A Reuters report quotes Chief Superintendent Neil Vargas saying about 500 turtles were supposedly found in the Chinese fisherman's boat. Vargas says the boat is being towed to Palawan, where charges will be filed. In an earlier report, China's state news media Xinhua said the Chinese boat was, quote, intercepted by an unidentified armed vessel. Hasa-Hasa Shoal is located well within the 200 nautical mile exclusive economic zone of the Philippines. China and the Philippines are engaged in a bitter maritime dispute over the West Philippine Sea or South China Sea. Philippine President Aquino is expected to push for an early conclusion of a code of conduct in the South China Sea in the next summit of the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, or ASEAN. The government tests 2 new transportation schemes to ease heavy congestion in the Metro Rail Transit, or MRT3. On Wednesday, transportation agencies deploy an articulated bus on EDSA and the MRT3 express train service. The articulated bus will travel from MRT North EDSA Station in Quezon City to MRT Taft Station in Pasay City. Exclusive to southbound passengers, it will stop at only 3 MRT stations, Buendia, Ayala, and Taft. The express train would be deployed to the most congested stations during peak hours and make only 5 stops from the end stations. MRT3 services 580,000 passengers daily, much more than its design capacity of only 360,000 daily. The Transportation Department says it is acquiring new trains to ease congestion. Thailand's Constitutional Court ousts Prime Minister Yingluck from office. In a unanimous ruling, the court says Yingluck abused power by transferring a top security official in 2011. Presiding Judge Charun Intachan says, therefore, her prime minister status has ended. Yingluck can no longer stay in her position, acting as caretaker prime minister. The Thai cabinet appoints Minister of Commerce Niwatumrong Bunsopang Paisan as caretaker prime minister. The case plunges Thailand deeper into a prolonged political crisis after 6 months of street protests left at least 25 people dead. Let's now look at Rappler's Wrap for today, a list of the 10 most important events around the world you shouldn't miss. At number 6, U.S. President Barack Obama urges global action against Nigerian Islamic militants as Washington sent in military experts to help track down more than 200 kidnapped schoolgirls. This comes as gunmen abduct 8 more girls from the village of Warabe in Nigeria's embattled northeast near Chibok. Boko Haram chief Abubakar Shekau claims responsibility, saying he would sell the girls in the market. U.S. officials fear the girls, aged between 16 and 18, have already been smuggled into neighboring countries like Chad and Cameroon. At number 8, former White House intern Monica Lewinsky speaks up about her illicit 1990s affair with President Bill Clinton. Lewinsky, now 40, says she wants to reclaim the narrative of events that brought her global humiliation. She was in her early 20s when she became the infamous muse who engaged in sexual relations with the president and then endured a colossal backlash that nearly drove her to suicide. Lewinsky maintains the affair was consensual, but admits her boss took advantage of her. Lewinsky says she now wants to work with victims of cyberbullying and harassment. And at number 9, it's going to be a long while before Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Watson grace our television screens again. Mirror UK reports Mark Gatiss, co-writer of the BBC miniseries Sherlock, confirmed a 2-year wait until season 4 airs. Gatiss says the unconventional format of the show makes it difficult to align the filming schedules of the actors, but fans may find some comfort. Speaking on Alan Carr's talk show Chatty Man, actor Martin Freeman, who plays Dr. Watson, says the writers had lined up an idea for a one-off special. For the full top 10, visit Rappler.com's The Wrap. For our social media post of the day, last month's kidnapping of teenage girls in Nigeria sparked outrage worldwide, triggering a movement online called #BringBackOurGirls. The trend started in Nigeria shortly after the kidnapping and spread via social media in the following weeks. The campaign got massive support from former U.S. Secretary of State Hillary Clinton, Pakistani schoolgirl Malala Yousafzai, and recording artist Chris Brown, among others. A 9-year-old Palaro first-timer turns heads in Day 4 of Palarong Pambansa as he bags 4 golds in gymnastics. John Claude Cabido of General Santos City brings home the gold in the individual all-around, floor exercise, vault, and mushroom events. In basketball, action was halted in the final 20 seconds of an elimination game between Caraga and Central Luzon. With the game tied at 85, the shot clock and game clock malfunctioned, causing a 5-minute delay. Central Luzon went on to win 88-85. In futsal, a goalkeeper sustains an injury after accidentally hitting her head on the ground. 3 other players were injured as a brawl broke out in the game between NCR and Davao. Still on Palaro, this young basketball player from Zamboanga found himself in 2 battlefields, one in his hometown, the other on the hard court. Jane Brasher reports.
After the siege of 2013, Zamboanga was synonymous with chaos and fear. Changing that perception is a challenge its people now face. But a team of young players is one step ahead, changing Zamboanga's image one basketball game at a time. Ahmad Didat Hanapi can still recall the sounds of gunfire. Hungry and tired, his family was constantly on the move to avoid danger. Zamboanga was caught in the conflict between the Moro National Liberation Front and government forces last September 2013.
Natatakot kami lahat sa bahay. Binombahan nila na yung malapit lang sa bahay namin. Tapos binombahan nila parang lumilindol na ganyan sa lakas ng bomba. Kasi nung gera walang tao, wala kang makikita na tao, nakatago lahat.
The siege reinforced the view. Zamboanga is a dangerous place.
You try to go there, people there are peace-loving people. Oh, and then, ito na nga nangyari lately, yung nangyari na yung siege, mas naging worse.
All set to play basketball for Adamson University with a full scholarship, 13-year-old Ahmad is out to restore his home's honor the only way he knows how.
Gusto namin tambakan yung kalaban kasi gustong-gusto namin talaga mag-champion ngayong year. Kasi wala pa nag-champion yung Zamboanga sa palarong pambansa.
Region 9's elementary basketball team made it to the playoffs, and they intend to go all the way.
We'll play hard basketball, we train hard here, and we'll show those people from other regions na Zamboanga City, aside from nangyaring gulong ganon, nakabangon na tayo.
Ahmad is fighting for himself, his family, his team, and his hometown. But the only shooting he's doing is with the ball through a hoop.
Gusto namin patunayan na mag-champion kami ngayong year. Pangarap namin yung lahat.
These young ballers are hoping that through Palarong Pambansa, Zamboanga will no longer be known as a city of chaos, but rather a city of champions. Jane Brasher, Rappler, Laguna.
Oklahoma City Thunder star Kevin Durant is the NBA's most valuable player. This is Durant's first ever MVP award and also the first for the OKC franchise. He edges Heat star LeBron James, who has won the award 4 times in the last 5 years. Durant says winning the top player honors is a, quote, surreal feeling. He adds, I failed so many times and got back up. I went through the toughest times, but I'm still standing. Durant and the Thunder are still in the hunt for an NBA title. They lost their first game in the second round of the Western Conference playoffs against the LA Clippers. Every story on Rappler has a mood meter, which gives you 8 emotions to choose from. Click how you feel, and your vote comes down to the mood navigator in the middle of the front page, which crowdsources the mood of the day. It also gives you the top 10 stories with the most clicks. Let's check out today's mood navigator. Let's start with this singular blue circle. Birth order and personality. Are you true to type? This personality and birth order stories have actually been getting quite popular in our site, and this specific story has 74% of readers feeling amused and 11% say they're happy. It's a good read to check out. Over to the left. This is another global story that has gotten quite a lot of footage recently. Kidnapper of 223 Nigerian girls says he will sell them. This has 80% of readers feeling angry and 8% say they're sad. And right in the middle, the only dark green circle for 2 days in a row, this story is about a study saying that firstborn girls are the most successful. This has 52% of people feeling inspired and 25% say they are happy. This story largely influences the mood of the day. Today, most people are inspired. That's Rappler's newscast for today, Wednesday, May 7, 2014. Visit Rappler.com and watch our newscast Monday to Friday. Tell us how you feel in our mood meter and help us crowdsource the mood of the day. I'm Natasha Gutierrez. As we say at Rappler, tomorrow begins today.